14. Notice on this worksheet that we are now missing our arrows. There's one really important thing that I would like to remind you before we draw our arrows. We're always going to be starting with the lower number, drawing our arrow towards the bigger number. You may not see this for the first few questions, but it will come up eventually. Actually, I see it on question number 2. Nope, I see it on question number 4. So anyways, for question number 1, we're going to start with the lower number, and we're going to draw our arrow towards the bigger number. And now we're going to add our multiplication sign. And now we are ready to operate just as we had in the previous worksheets. Do I start by covering up the top, or do I start by covering up the bottom? If you had said that we're going to cover up the top, you would be correct. Because, remember, we in math don't like too many missing things. It's going to be easier to find one missing item than it is going to be to find 2 missing items. So let's cover up the top. 4 times a number equals 8. And that number is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Let's write this 2 at the top. Remember that these two numbers have to be equal. They have to be the same. All right, what is 3 times 2? 3 times 2 is 6. And now you're done number 1. Number 2, let's start by drawing our arrows. Okay, let's add our time. Let's try and find this out. 5 times a number is 20. 5 times 4 is 20. Let's bring that 4 down here. And now we're searching for this number here. Something times 4 equals 12. Let's try a few numbers out. Let's start with 2 times 4, not quite 12. All right, let's try a bigger number than 2. 3 times 4. That was the number we are looking for. 3 times 4 equals 12. All right, moving onward. For number 3, which number is smaller? 11. So we're going to start with 11. We draw our arrow. Let's add in our multiplication signs. And we are going to be starting with the top. 11 times a number equals 33. It's bigger than 2. There's our magic number. 11 times 3 equals 33. Let's bring that 3 down. And now we try 2 times 3, which is 6. All right, for number 4, small change. Which number is your smaller number? Let's draw our arrow to the bigger number. Let's do the same for the top. And now let's add our multiplication signs. Excuse me. And now we have to work backwards. It's the same process as before. Do I cover up the top or do I cover up the bottom? We're going to cover up the top. And now we start a process again. 5 times a number equals 25. What is that number? 5 times 4 is not quite 25. It's bigger than 4. 5 times 5 is 25. Let's bring this 5 to the top. And now we have something times 5 is 35. Let's try 6. Bigger than 6. Our magic answer, 7. Let's try number 5. All right, which one is our small? Okay, let's draw our arrow. Let's draw our top arrow. Let's add in our multiplication sign. And now we have to ask, where do we start? 14 times something is 28. 14 times 2. Something times 2 is 16. Let's try 6. It's going to be bigger than 6. It's going to be bigger than 7. There it is. 8. All right, let's try number 6. Which number is smaller? Let's draw our arrow. Draw our other arrow. We'll add our signs. And now we ask ourselves, where do we? 6 times a number is 24. 6 times 5 is too big. 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is what we are looking for. Now we have blank times 4 is 36. Let's try some numbers here. 5 times 4. Nope. 6 times 4. Nope. 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 9 times 4 is 36. All right, let's try number 7. Which number is smaller? Let's draw our arrow. Let's add our multiplication signs. And then we ask ourselves, where do I start? 3 times a number is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. We'll bring this 5 to the top. And now let's complete our equation. 8 times 5 equals 40. Number 8. Smaller number. Draw arrow. Draw arrow. Multiplication sign. 3 times 3 is equal to 9. Let's bring this 3 to the top. And now we have 10 times 3. All right, good job. Let's do number 9. Smaller number. Multiplication sign. And where do we start? 8 times 2 is 16. Let's bring this 2 to the top. Something times 2 is 12. Something times 2, let's try 5. Bigger than 5. 6 times 2 is 12. Number 10. Smaller number. Draw your arrow. Multiplication signs. 4 times a number is 16. 4 times 4. 7 times 4 equals 28. All right, number 11. This is a tricky scenario because we no longer have a fraction. This is a whole number. I could sit here and try and tell you how this works, but all I'm going to do for this video is show you how to do this. And anytime that you want to change a whole number to a fraction, all we're going to do is add a 1 right below it. Realistically, this line right here means division, divided by. So although we changed this 3 by adding the 1 below it, if you do the math, 3 divided by 1 equals 3. This is the same thing as 3. We didn't actually change this number. All we did was change format. The important thing to note, if you see this, all you have to do is add a 1 beneath it. And then we can begin. Which number is your smallest number? Let's add our multiplication symbols. And then we are going to start with the top. 3 times a number. Let's try 4. It is. 3 times 4 is 12. Let's bring that 4 to the bottom. No calculator here. 1 times 4 is 4. Number 12. Let's choose the smaller number. Draw our arrow. Add our multiplication signs. And where do we start? Nine times a number is 27. And that number is 3. 7 times 3 is 21. All right. Let's go to number 13. Smaller number. Arrow. Multiplication sign. And where do I begin? Thirteen times 5. Way too big. 13 times 4. Too big. 13 times 3. Bring your 3 down. Something times 3 equals 12. Something times 3 equals 12. Something times 3 equals 12. 4 times 3 equals 12. What do I do? How do I change this whole number to a fraction? Very good. Smaller number, arrow, sign, 1 times 10 is 10. No calculator needed. And I know this one off the top of my head. 20. Number 15. Smaller number. Let's draw our arrows. Multiplication signs. And you are going to be starting with the bottom. 6 times a number is 24. A number times 4 is 12. All right, last question. Smaller number, arrows, sign. 4 times 2 equals 8. Something times 2 is 18. It's bigger than 5. 6 times 2, 7 times 2, 8 times 2, 9 times 2, 9. Wow, that was a long worksheet. Congratulations. We just finished number 14. Let's go take a look at page number 15. I'll see you there.